What is up, survivors? My name is Soul Survivor, and today we are, what day is it, guys? It's Walking Dead Wednesdays. I apologize for that. Anyway, yeah. So, basically, last week I talked about doing a new series, which I plan on calling The Walking Dead Wednesdays. And yeah, so if you don't understand what's going to go down, basically you guys in the comments down below are going to ask me questions like, anything. This relates to not only the Walking Dead game, but the comics and the TV show. Now, I'm not too clear on the comics, but if you guys ask me, any comics questions, I will look it up, I guess. But as far as I know, the comics and the TV show is the same thing. Just one's on paper and one's on the TV. So, yeah. The first question I got was from Dustin Williams. His channel name is. And he said, what if Lee never met Clementine? And so, guys, I'm going to show you. Not only am I going to talk about it, I'm going to play it. So, yeah, guys, this video is going to be somewhat long, maybe. I'm not really sure. But anyway, let's get started. So, if Lee never met Clementine, man, well, a lot would, change from that, to be honest. There's different scenarios for what would happen. There's good scenarios and bad scenarios for both. Okay, so say the walker in the middle of the road, which will be right here. Also, if you guys want me to do a walkthrough on this once I get my equipment, you bet your asses there will be one. But anyway, if you guys want, I don't know, say, what, I already said that. Sorry, I'm backtracking myself. Anyway, so say the walker in the middle of the road here never happened. So the walker in the middle of the road never happened. I'm like, no. Alright, so if he wasn't in the middle of the road, this guy here wouldn't have wrecked. And if that guy wouldn't have wrecked, then Lee never would have met Clementine. And, so yeah. That's basically what the scenario is. And, yeah. So if the walker was never in the middle of the road, Lee would have never met Clementine. So, then what would happen to Clementine, you might ask? Well, there's two scenarios. Three, actually. Two bad and one good. So, before, well, I'm probably just going to ride in this truck right here for a little while. Before, Clementine met Lee and, basically ran up with, Herschel's son. I'm just going to do that, like, press Alt-A on this, because I'm not going to bother reading. I'm just going to talk and let you guys, watch this little scene. So, yeah. So, Lee, when Lee met Clementine, they basically got together and they found Herschel's son. Sean, I think his name was Sean. Wasn't it? I forget. But yeah, so they met him. Now, Clementine, without Lee meeting Clementine, there's a few things that could happen. Hey. Either one, Clementine would, continue to stay in her treehouse, and die of starvation or thirst in there. Which, to be honest, none of us want to see. We all know that we don't want to see that. So yeah. the other one is that she meets up with Sean's son, and they go to Herschel's farm, and possibly stays with Herschel. They meet Kenny, and everything happened the way it did, And when Herschel's son died, and he kicked Kenny out, he probably let Clementine stay with him, and watched her as his own. And therefore, Clementine would meet up with Rick, Herschel. Well, she's already with Herschel, but Rick and the rest of the gang. And you would see her in the comics and the TV show, which I think we'd all would love that. So number 3 would be she came out of her treehouse and went inside her house to see, try to find her babysitter, because she heard her. She says that she heard her scream a few nights ago. So, yeah. And if she was to go and do that, her babysitter, who we all know from playing the game, is a zombie. So, therefore, the bigger chance out of that is Clementine would be bitten and eaten and turned into a zombie. Which, again, none of us would like to see. So, yeah. Well, we're getting into the more advanced parts right there. I could have said something, but I wasn't fast enough. Where was I? Oh yeah, none of us want to see Clementine get eaten by our babysitter. And now, Lee, since we haven't talked about him yet, since the zombie we just hit wouldn't be in the road, he would most likely go on to be in the prison. Possibly the same prison that Rick and the gang gets together and stays. So either way, if both good scenarios happened, Lee and Clementine would come together. But that wouldn't be what if Lee never met Clementine, because they would meet. So that leaves Lee with dying in the prison with a few of the other prisoners when Rick found them. That's not a very good fate for Lee, but that's the only other way that I can see it. That he would, not meet Clementine, that he would have to have died, or decided to go off by himself and leave the others. So, yeah. And Clementine. Or Lee could survive and Clementine would die. Maybe she died while trying to get to the prison, or, something, Maybe she died trying to get to the prison and never met Lee. And Lee lived to go on in the show. And so with the question, one of them would have to die. Either way. Because of the way the story in the game is going, one of them would have to die. There's no die or Lee walk off. One of them die or Lee walk off from the gang before he met her. So, one of those two. Either one of them dies or Lee leaves the prison and goes to see what's going on. And who knows what could happen then. Maybe he meets, somebody else there. So, yeah. Which is a pretty cool scenario if Lee left, because a whole world of opportunities could be let out in front of Lee, but from him walking off from the prison. Now, I used to say they're good scenarios because he won't be in the show and there's a chance he dies, but he doesn't meet Clementine, and that's the question here. What if Lee never met Clementine? And, one second. So, basically, if Lee never met Clementine, one of those would happen. One. I don't care what. One. Either Lee would leave, and, that'd be fine. She'd stay on to the show, or she would die. Or Lee would die. You can't get around it because of the question. They cannot meet. In no way can they meet because of the question. So either they die or Lee walks off from, the prison. So as, bad as that is, it's what would happen. And so, there's not really much of a choice of anything else you can decide. Because there really is no other option. Either Lee runs off, or Lee dies, or Clementine dies. One of those two. I'm sorry if I'm not aiming exactly at the screen. I was trying to do that so I wouldn't die. I don't want any deaths while I'm talking about this. Now, let's say the walker is in the middle of the road, right? Another way that Lee wouldn't have met Clementine is that Lee died in the car accident. If I can stabilize my thing. Lee would die in the car accident. Therefore, he would never meet Clementine. So, there are equal bad and equal good scenarios to them not meeting each other. So really, it's kind of a really good thing. A really good reason they met. I'm sorry if the screen's a bit dark. The game is a bit dark. So, it should get lighter soon. I mean, we're in a forest right now. But the gameplay isn't, what's important, to be honest. But, okay. So, the walker would be in the middle of the road. So, they'd crash. The cop would die, and so would Lee. Or, Lee wouldn't die in the cop crash. And he would hop this fence like he's doing now. And, go to Clementine's house. And, to catch you up with what I'm about to say, Lee would die either way if he came here. Because, in one scene of the game, Clementine says that she thought about dropping a hammer on Lee's head. So maybe she got the guts to do that. And Lee dies. Well, she never meets him. And I'm saying meet as in not like seeing him, meeting him. I mean meeting him like talking to him, knowing his name. That's meeting somebody, in the opinion that I'm using for, this. So yeah, Clementine would end up killing Lee. And that's really all I can, say. I don't know any other scenarios that could be, put in to find, any other way they could not meet and they could both be, happy. But maybe Lee leaves, the prison and doesn't die. Maybe he lives on and still never meets Clementine. Maybe he meets Kenny. Who the heck knows, Maybe he meets Kenny and Sarita. I don't know. It's kind of impossible to know. That's why this is hypothetical. But I've given you my best guess as to what would happen. And so, I'm going to end it here before it gets to be too long a video. So, next Wednesday, guys, I will get a new scenario for you guys. Leave a comment in the comment section below of what you guys would like to see. What scenario you guys like me to discuss. And we will talk about it. So, until next time, guys, Soul Survivor signing out. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Have a great day, guys. Soul Survivor signing out.